Hey there, welcome to Synth Seeker. My name is Luke. Hey, it's December 31st. Tomorrow is the beginning of January. So I'm doing a sort of preemptive video today, just a quick one to run over what I'm doing for January. January is an event where every day in January you jam or create a clip or make a track or do whatever works for you. But you try and do some sort of musical output every day and share it. There's a sort of, there's a commitment there to say, I'm going to put a piece of music out, even if it's something small, even if it's something incomplete, just to sort of get into the habit of trying to well, not getting the habit of challenging yourself, but it is a challenge to try and get into a mode where you can do that reliably every day, just to see what happens. Now, I'm going to use it as an exercise in two things. One, I'm going to just do stream of consciousness speaking. I'm going to say what's running through my brain as I'm sitting here building these little jams every day, just so that I can share with you how inane it is. And, you know, there's, at least in my process, it's not, there is no formal, pattern I follow. It's real messy. And I just wanted to share that mess with you. So maybe some of you are feeling, I get some feedback from people who are like, I can't deal with the blank page. When I go to sit down to do something, nothing comes, or I just don't know where to begin, or I feel like I'm faking it, or, all of those impostery sort of things that people say, I'm not a pro, this is, or, I can't do this because, I don't have the skill or something like that. Just chill. Sit down for 5 minutes, do a thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time each day on this. I'm just going to get in there, get an idea down, and then ship it. And I'm going to save all those ideas for January, and then I'm going to use them over the rest of the year as seeds for making tracks. All right. So that's it. I'm not going to do, it's not complicated. So let's get started. I'm just going to do day 0. We'll call December 31st, January for day 0, and tomorrow will be day 1. Okay, so what have I got here? I'm using Ableton. I've got a bunch of synths connected to this thing, and I've got a real basic, a few layered sawtooths, a little layered delay. Right, we'll call that a pluck. I'm working in C minor. Okay. So that's my scale. All right, it's not going to get complicated. I'm not going to use a lot of layers. I'm not even going to use rhythm. I'm just going to keep metronome running in my head. I don't think that's getting picked up by the, no, that's not coming out the mains. So I've got a metronome. I'm at 100 BPM. And I'm just going to noodle and see if I can get a pattern that I like while I'm fiddling around with this sound using some delay. Right? Octaves are always safe. Maybe I'm trying to set up some sort of rhythmic feel in my head. All right, I kind of like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to start recording a little. I'm going to record a 4-bar pattern. Okay, so we'll get that recording. And let me lay something down here when it comes around again. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll quantize that because my timing is terrible. And I'm going to throw in some bass notes. All right, I'm running a Matriarch here. It's a monophonic synth. All right. So let's look at this clip. What do I got here? When I start and stop the, you hear that detune sort of echoey thing? That's me starting and stopping the transport, causes the sync on the Matriarch to change its timing. It goes from the external timing to the internal clock, which is a different speed. So you hear the delay is actually repitching. So when I start and stop, that's that weird tune. All right, so that's the beginning of an idea. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two synths. I'm going to delete this clip. Oop, I'm going to bump the camera. There we go. I'm going to delete this clip. And I'm going to do this as a bass line. All right, this is a Minimoog style synth. Let me change the patch a little bit. Bring it down. There we go, tune it in. All right, let's pull that down a little bit as far as engage the filter a little bit more. Right, so I'm fiddling around. If I'm just bouncing this root pattern, the octaves, in between that rhythmic thing, I can throw in a little embellishment on some of the other notes in the key. I could amp up my rhythmic bit a little bit. And I'm leaving in, okay, I'm leaving in all the flubs because you need to hear them, right? Sometimes, you know, you'll watch a video and people they'll edit it down so it's always perfect. It's messy. This month is going to be messy. All right, let's record that. All right, so my timing's off. I'm just going to quantize that. All right, that'll work. So let me flip over back to that other synth. Now, with that bass line running, I can just explore. So I've got the second voice. I'm just going to play around within the key. Right? I'm checking out these other notes. All right, so what am I doing? I'm checking out the other notes around. If the bass line's doing this C, it's doing this root stuff in C. This is a good place where you can play around with the other notes in the key and see which ones add tension and which ones relieve tension, right? You'll start learning that, right? So if this is playing, right, that's playing these Cs. So what are these other notes? Do they add or remove tension? Well, the root's always safe to play. The second, that's kind of adds tension. This is the third. There's 1, 2, 3. The fourth, right, a little less tension. Fifth is like a power chord. Fifth is almost always safe to play when the root's playing. It is always safe to play when the root's playing. The sixth, in a minor key, adds tension. And the seventh really wants you to go to the eighth to resolve. Like it's like, oh, I'm standing on the edge of a cliff. and then you fall off back to home. And so while that bass line's playing, you can just explore. All right. So you can hear that detune again as I stop the transport. All right, so let me, I'm gonna try and just lay something down. I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it to be amazing. I'm just gonna get something down, because once it's down, we have an idea that we can start shaping. Okay, so here we go. Detune. Oh, all right, so there's a mistake. So I've got this set to record a 4-bar pattern, and it started to loop, and I got a conflict there. So what I'm gonna do is bump the camera and then delete what I was working on, that little pattern. And I'm gonna change it to be 8 bars. Okay, so we're gonna do an 8-bar sort of melodic thing here. Let's try again. All right, here we go. Fix the timing on that, do a little quantize. All right, so that's a day, okay? I'm gonna say that is a thing for January, right? I got a bass line, I've got a little bit of a melody on top of that. That's a seed that I'm gonna use later in the year to build something on top of. I feel good about that. It didn't take me very long, and I didn't spend a ton of time in like sound design or anything like that. I didn't get lost in pulling effects out and applying effects. I just got a little delay on there. Don't even have any reverb. And I'm done. I'm gonna ship that. It's gonna be this video. And then in February, March, April, I'm gonna come back and build something on top of this. But for now, that'll do. And every day in January, I'm going to do one of these, right? Maybe the same key, maybe a different key, different tempos, things like that, different time signatures. But I encourage you to give it a shot. And if it's, if it becomes not fun, if it becomes work, if you're stressing about it, take a break, that's fine. But lower the bar and get something down, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be well developed. Like this is, right? The professional, music producers are going to look at this and they're going to go, well, that's like garbage, throw it away. But for me, hey, that's an accomplishment. Maybe it's an accomplishment for you. So give it a shot. I will see you in January. Thanks for watching.